the panel was talking about it a little bit because with that Viper going mid, you want to definitely, you know, put the Razor there and you're kind of locked into that, right? So you kind of have to shift the other lanes, and that's going to be a little bit of back and forth.
Yeah, you can see that Ramses, he used Sokuchi all the way to go to this bottom lane and ward instantly, so they have that at least information advantage, vision advantage to see when these rotations happen. And the Yapsor boots Phoenix. Oh,
he likes boots.
Not
you said
surprised
it.
whatsoever.
He likes boots.
Boots Phoenix. Phoenix also a hero that we haven't really seen a lot. A hero that got nerfed here and there, so that's the reason.
I'm just gonna give Pasha a little shove back, grab themselves a rune.
The Weaver, by the way, the last pick from VP, it enables them to kill that tag too, as the Weaver is one of those heroes that has super fast attack speed. You also have the Gemnet attack to work versus that egg.
We're already starting to see just a little bit off there, yeah. All right, we're seeing the Tidehunter. He's already making his way out of that top lane. Doesn't want to face off with that Ursa Bear.
Yeah, as you called it, swaps are necessary here. You basically want that Ursa versus the Tidehunter. Tidehunter wants none of that. And he's just running bottom. He can't really port, as then Ursa is going to do the same, so he's just going to run down here to fight against Nisha. This is a decent lane for Tide. Tide versus... yeah, Oracle does have a lot of nukes, but versus the PL, you should be super fine.
He'll make it down there someday. He's still going that long trek for Mr. Pasha.
If these lanes continue being like this, if Secret does not change anything, I think VP, they do have a slight advantage instantly in the laning stage, even though their draft looks wonky as hell. These heroes, they are countering Secret a little bit.
No one trying to sap some of that strength off of mid one.
He's getting a little bit weak. You can see mid one starting with nothing else but that crown early on, possibly into an Atos.
We've seen mid one play this a couple times during the tournament, haven't we?
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen it on a lot of
I mean, I don't even know, honestly, who I haven't seen play Viper.
Right.
Every single team is playing that Viper. Razor, Viper every single time.
I just remember Matu just really like, come on, Stamil, give me a good hero. Give me a flashy hero to cast. And it was just Viper each time. It's like, oh, all right.
Yeah, strange that Matu isn't here, considering how many of his heroes are actually being played right now.
A little bit of harass being placed on Roger.
When you look at the CS, 9 and 5 for the Razor, 10 and 5 right now. He's doing super well on that mid lane. Same as that Weaver on the top lane. Right now they're kind of winning these lanes. Tidehunter isn't really doing the best, but he was late on the lane, so he needs that level 3. After the level 3, he should be fine too.
He's a Tidehunter too. You know, the big thing for him is just kind of survival for the most part. Get those levels. Anything else you get is kind of a nice bonus.
Ramses here is left completely alone, and he's still doing fine. He is suffering a little bit, obviously. They're burning through his region, but that's completely fine as he's getting the solo experience, and at the same time, Roger is farming away in that jungle. Do they have any ways? They actually have no ways of breaking the BKB black hole this game. There's one way, that's Supernova when it goes off, but that's just way too hard. You can't plan that out.
It's definitely going to be difficult for them to deal with it, so I think they're hoping maybe they can get the pick off early. I think they were also probably a little bamboozled by the draft, right?
Of course you are.
Not something you typically see. I think the last time I saw something like this in a pro match was actually, it was a South American game. I think it was Thunder Predator that just had drafted all off-lane heroes, all off-lane. It was ridiculous. I was like, what is happening?
I think I saw that game, like with the Panda and the Tidehunter.
There was something, there were more than that. Oh, Yapsor. There's a lot. Oh.
He does have spirits to work with.
He's going to be okay, yeah.
Like, you can chase him, but he's going to use the spirit, slow your Eidolons down, the attack speed that is, and you're not going to be able to take him down. You're happy if you just continue farming. But this is the difference between the Phoenix and that Nyx. That Nyx assassin, he basically is so annoying. He's always around there, just sapping your experience and your farm. While the Phoenix, the hero is good. Like, the team fight potential that you get from Phoenix later on is definitely something to watch out for. But in the laning stage, not necessarily the strongest hero at all.
Oh, first blood though, Zai.
Zai.
A tip comes out from Yapsor.
Oh, you have to tip him there. You just have to tip him. Like,
that
first blood on a Weaver. That should not happen whatsoever. Ramses just pushing it a little bit too far over there.
A little overconfident, perhaps. Don't think we'll see that again.
Yeah, we won't see it again, but you don't really want to be feeding these kills away to an Ursa. You're winning that lane, sort of, but right now, after dying like that, even though he's alone, you shouldn't be dying. Especially to Zai. Zai is one of those guys that can just take away the game if he has a good start.
Yeah, I'm surprised that that ended up happening. I'm not sure exactly because we just caught the tail end of that. I'm guessing he was sitting very, very low early, though, so that's probably the case. Is he just...
Is that his Ring of Health and Ring of Regen?
I'm not sure.
No, Roger's.
No,
of
Roger.
course. It's so good on Weaver, though. Like, he has such a small health pool, and Roger just giving him away his
He gets that
items.
bounty rune, too. He's got a TP out.
Oh,
Ooh, there's too much damage.
Oh, you see, though? That was so close.
That was so close.
And he didn't port to the fountain either. If there was a dot on him, he would have died. That port was very greedy as well to port on the shrine like that. Calculated, however.
I can't believe that. That was...
Of course.
Roger God. We're seeing that this Razor has just been continuously sapping all of that damage away.
See that.
And one of those the speedy bear over here is going to try to put as many Fury Swipes over here onto Solo. Solo's in for trouble. They get the nuke off. They need one more hit. He's going to find it. There it is.
At the same time, he gets that kill.
Oh, top lane Ramses. I'm not sure exactly what's happening here, although Roger making this rotation, going to try to give him a hand. There's a Shukuchi. Need a little bit more damage here. They've got those Eidolons. And it looks like Nisha going to be able to walk away. Ramses going to just get taken down by Yapster. What's happening? Roger now in for some trouble. They've got the Sunray. Nisha fighting through. They just get a double kill. Double kill. What's happening?
I honestly think Ramses has to be overestimating his strength there. And mid
one, sapping up that damage. He's trying to just fight through. It's just not enough.
At least one lane is going well for VP right now. That's this mid lane. After a good start, they kind of died a few times in some unnecessary ways, honestly. But no one, he's doing fine. I think they have to rotate. Oh, Ramses ported top. I don't think that's really good. I think they needed to rotate the Tide top, as Ursa is completely going to free farm versus the Tide on that bottom lane. I think you needed to send Ramses bottom instead. But he's top again.
He's having a lot of difficulty in this lane.
He has to stop overestimating himself. Like, he cannot go so deep versus the Phoenix and the PL.
What? Solo was just walking at them. Nisha taking a bath in the sun ray. They'll turn around. No.
Is it? No, it's not.
No, it's not.
It was an attempt.
It's not a bait.
All right, that's a position 5 Doom. Twice in a row now he feeds 174 gold away. Exactly that amount. Oh, he's diving.
Yeah, definitely. He needs to here. Sir, trying to throw out some damage. They're juking around this tower. Ramses needs to be really careful. Nisha, is he going to finally fall? Ring around the Rosie. Yeah, there it is. Ramsey finds it.
Finally, one of these aggressive plays play out properly for VP. Zai, however.
Zai is just, he's hungry. He wants a watermelon. He goes, he's his head in range. He chases him down.
That's just the problem with playing Tidehunter versus Ursa. You just don't want to negate his damage. He has those Fury Swipes. He's gonna dive you, he's gonna kill you. That Tidehunter cannot farm bottom. The reason he's farming though is because Ramses ported top. Zai is having a blast.
Oh yeah, I mean,
so good. He's on top of the networks right now as an Ursa hero that doesn't necessarily farm way too well, but does kill heroes very well, and so far he's been successful. Going for those phase boots for the drums, he's gonna be able to run down every single target on the side of VP very soon.
I'm having flashbacks to Zai Bounty Hunter a little bit here when he just started balling out of control. This is a very scary predicament for the side of Virtus.pro. Usually Virtus.pro is the one that's being very aggressive. They're the ones, you know, making a lot of moves early. But like, look at this. Already Zai TP's up to top.
He TP's top because Tidehunter ported top, right? So he mimics the movements of the Tidehunter, and the Tidehunter can't really have a game here. However, at the same time, on the side of VP, you do still have Roger farming in the woods. So. Oh, I think Pasha knows. He knows.
Peekaboo, Pasha.
He knows.
Look at the taunt. Look at it. They're gonna dance with each other a little bit, you know?
Yeah, that rotation from Zai didn't pay out this time. Really pay off. So he's gonna have to just waste a little bit of his time. Perhaps go on to Roger here.
Roger, these Fury Swipes are stacking up fast. Zai's dominating.
All right. He waited out a little bit, saw Roger and took him down instead. Still a good kill for Ursa. Not really the kill he came for, but
Look at him.
Nonetheless,
Look at that. He's just like, hey, Solo. Hey, Solo. Let me give you a big old bear hug. We'll back off.
This game for Zai looks like when you're stacking with your low party MMR friends and you pick Ursa and you just run across the map and kill everyone.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm not calling VP low skilled, it's just that Ursa is having such a good game and he's playing versus these heroes that don't really work well versus an Ursa.
He's a snowbally hero, and again, what are they going to do to him right now? He's had a great start.
They also have no catch for this Phoenix. So on the top lane, if he's there, as long as he has dive, he's fine. He can farm. Then you can put the PL in the jungle, and you can have two heroes farming really well. Yapsor likes to be that greedy support, so he's gonna have fun in this game.
Runes getting picked up now.
How many runes?
Virtus.pro gets 3 runes.
3 runes for VP. Something.
Once Zai gets, oh my gosh, once Zai gets this Blink Dagger, it's on.
I mean, already it's on. He's already dominating them. No one can approach this silly bear.
Silly old bear. All right, Ramses, he's working, but how do you feel about
the Midas?
Yeah, how do you feel about that? Because I feel like they're not gonna have enough time in a sense, because
you're buying that Midas versus a PL, honestly. And eventually that PL is just going to be a stronger core than you are. And there's catch. There's this Atos on mid 1. So they're going to have ways of catching that Weaver, even though their side isn't really the greatest at that. All right, here we go.
Look how fast the Atos, he just goes. He's got the doom on him, but he's going to be able to just run away. Ramsey's still on the high ground. There's going to be the moving from Roger. They just can't go in on this. Look at they dropped the Ido.
Yeah, like he got doomed way too late there, the Atos. I mean, even if he got doomed earlier, it wouldn't have helped. Like, that Atos just got taken out with his ultimate, so he was able to run out. Now the Atos, the battle of the Atoses on the mid lane.
Oh, the slow. Oh boy, he's just got a TP out. Just Zai, just running at Ramses, gets the root off.
Yeah, if they had detection there, he maybe could have continued, but Weaver, they still don't have the necessary catch for him, especially not if the Oracle is alone. Perhaps if you combo the Atos into the Purge from the Oracle, you can take him down. But right now, it is hard. It is a free Weaver game, so because of that, that Midas does make some sense. My question is, even with that Midas later on, if he's going to be able to deal with the PL or not. But at the same time, he does have Tide and the Razor for that.
Man, the taunts are just real in this game. I love it. Ramsey's making his way right back down to bottom lane. Knows that, you know, can get away from Zai if necessary.
How aggressive he is right now. He just knows he's the boss in this game. Just look at him. Threatening a Weaver under his own tier 1.
He's not afraid. I mean, to be fair, Ramses doesn't seem very worried about this either. Knows that he can time-lapse away. No, he's fine. Now he has to be careful, because Zai's just going to go running at him with his base.
He has to be careful. There is an Enigma creeping about.
Yeah, Rogers. Calm down a little bit. Fate's Edict, I'm going to go and heal him up with the Purifying Flames, too. Ramses.
What's happening on the other lanes? Let's see, top lane.
Pasha's having some free time to himself.
Right, finally he finds some farm. He has the blast completed, so some utility coming from him.
See Atos starting off. We'll follow up with the Viper Strike, another Toxin.
He can't TP, there's Purge from Puppey.
Yeah, and they're just gonna chip him down. He doesn't want to use his Ravage. Yeah. One more hit should do the trick. Puppey gonna get the Purifying Flames. And bottom lane, Zai, though, the chase is on. Ramses and Solo and Roger. Everybody wants a piece of this bear. And he's really fast, but no, that nuke comes out, and Ramses will finally get that kill.
Yeah, that's a 4 dominating kill streak candidate for Ramses. He gets 400 gold, and the Midas is used instantly after. A huge boost for this little bug.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
Like VP, they needed to take down Zai at least before he gets that Blink Dagger. That was ridiculous how aggressively he was playing without being punished. You had to do that because while he's posturing himself so aggressively, this Phantom Lancer, he's just farming. Well, look at him. He's just in the jungle, niche ups, chilling, you know, one camp after another. Doesn't really have to do anything because his team is completely shutting Virtus.pro down.
I think we're just gonna see Zai chill for a little bit, trying to finish up this Blink Dagger. Of course, if someone wanders into him, I don't think he'd say no to that either. But they do have a smoke up over on the side of VP.
Yeah.
Got Black Hole. Capsor.
Has that tag though, and it is a hard kill. He does have dive. And the Veil completed actually.
I'm sure they're hoping for something a little bit more than that, but yeah, they did finish up the Veil.
I believe the two of them are smoked up because Razor is going to push in mid, so they can catch someone that tries to defend it, perhaps.
This is one of those situations where I feel like you don't want to use everything, right? You want to hold on to something, just because if you use the whole everything in the kitchen sink, then Secret's going to, storming over on Ramsey's puppy, just walk away. 15-minute runes.
Tower is under attack.
Oh, Zai. It's the swoop coming out from the Phoenix. Wants to try to take down this Enigma. Knows that that's a big part of their fight. Yapsor gets that kill.
With the Veil, with another Toxin, with the Phoenix burn, that Enigma just falls instantly. He needs to get BKB and Blink Dagger as soon as possible. It's so good in this game.
Under attack.
Weaver going for that Maelstrom after the Midas. This is one of the builds that we see on Weavers right now. It's either the Blightstone plus the Desolator, so you have a lot of minus armor, or this other build with the Midas and Maelstrom, which does allow you to scale much better. And CIS teams, they usually actually play Weaver with this way. They get the Midas and the Maelstrom.
Bottom lane, Zai. Gonna get some of that strength. There's the damage zap from him, but we'll be able to TP out.
Sadly, it was only the Razor there, so after that, Atos has been popped. He can't really prevent Tirsa from porting. In the grand scale, however, Ramses, he is in their jungle. He is pressuring them a little bit, farming a very deep spot.
Well, everyone at Virtus.pro is in the jungle farming. Ramses does need to be a little bit careful as Zai finds him over here. We'll land that root.
Oh, the root
he can time-lapse himself away. But there's a lot of other people waiting around here, so he's got to scoochie that booty out of there.
Actually, as you said, everyone is farming. That's usually what happens when you have this pub-like composition of 5 cores. You have this Doom position 5. Pasha with the Vlads building into that 4-staff, it seems, afterwards. Like, this Tidehunter is not having a game. And honestly, if he had a good start, he could do so much versus the PL. Unfortunately for him, he was playing against an Ursa.
And that Ursa just picked himself up a blink. So I think we're going to start seeing some big movement coming on here. Ramses just, saying hello to a Phantom Lancer.
I mean, he's saying hello to a Phantom Lancer, but at the same time, he's not farming. He's wasting a lot of his time on these movements that look more like bounty hunter movements than Weaver movements. Scouting them out, giving some info to his team, but for what? He needs to be the one that farms.
Right. Says, please don't take my farm, Mr. Solo.
Get out of here, Solo.
Yeah, the storm popped too. Again,
Radiance build on no one. All right, this is a way of dealing with the Phantom Lancer. You get that Atos, you get the Radiance on the Razor. You also have your passive that procs. There is a build, I believe it included Octarine Core as well. I hope it's not going to be it in this game, but it might be. And it is very decent versus the PL. And then you have the Weaver versus the Ursa and the Viper. So they are itemizing in a good way on their cores.
Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Radiance build on the Razor.
Yeah, it was tested out by multiple players once the change to his passive happened. We haven't really seen it in the pro scene, at least I haven't, but it's been around in pubs at least. It is alright versus the PL. Versus the PL, Radiance is always good. That's why Nyx used to work so well versus him. You get that Radiance, you get that level 20 talent, and he can't really kill you any longer.
I mean, if there was ever a game where you would try out a pub build, this seems to be the one.
Because you have a pub draft, right?
Yeah. Oh, Puppy. Puppy's going to walk into a lot of heroes. Tries to save himself, but just a quick pick.
Yeah, they should continue. This is not enough. They need more.
Well, they're thinking about it. They need to catch someone, though. There's going to be another Toxin right up onto the high ground here. Nisha is going to just try to burn down Solo. Use the Ravage. Solo's still going to fall. And they did manage to get the Doom off, though, so they're going to take down Yep, so there'll be no egg in this fight. We've got a lot of damage getting sapped off of mid 1 right now. Oh, there's a Black Ball coming out. Going to be able to catch 3 of them. Pasha just walking away. Oh, Nisha's burning down on the back end. Zai having to run himself back. The they'll be able to find a kill on Nisha. Zai, he was feeling like a really strong bear. The Atos comes out.
The Atos does come down out, but
Is he gonna go back in? Yeah. Is he feeling greedy?
He has Oracle behind him. That's the only reason why he can't go back in. But Roger just getting there in the right time, in the right place, getting that massive black hole out. Solo, he is a position 5. He did die there, but he did manage to use his Doom on the Phoenix before he used his Egg, which was massive for that fight. These two supports, like Phoenix and Doom, they can scale so well. Phoenix, he has a gold per minute talent. He also farms very well, outpushes the lanes, and at the same time you have the Doom with the Devour, built-in Midas pretty much. So we're gonna see these position 5 and 4 scale into pretty strong cores very soon.
Look forward to it. Double damage rune is available top.
Oh,
and that's the perfect time for Zai.
There's no Ravage, there's no Black Hole. You have an Ursa, you just go into the pit.
Well, that was the thing I was worried about when we were looking at the draft coming out from Virtus.pro, is the fact that, you know, they have these really great ultimates coming out, but if you use it all in one shot, then what does Secret have to be afraid of?
No, that's very well said. There isn't really a whole lot that they have to be afraid of, especially right now, as their VP, they do not have the items that are necessary to win these teamfights without those big ultimates. However, you do have that Radiance right now. Now you have to tank up a little bit on that Razor. 2 Raid Bands and Atos, it's decent, but it's not good. Not any longer. Not 21 minutes in. Weaver did pick up that Dragonlance, so he tanked up a little bit. He's gonna be able to take down that Egg as long as no one is controlling him.
He is farming quite well, both of the cores on the side of Virtus.pro. 10k net worth on the Razor, 9.3 on the Weaver.
Yapsor is doing so well too. Has that Void Stone, needs like 2.7k more, and he's gonna have a full Hex completed on the Phoenix. Once that Hex is completed, that Weaver has to be careful. He does not have a Linkens. If they manage to catch him with the Hex, you have the Blink on the Ursa, you can take him down.
Disperse him as fast as you can. Port's gonna come out on the top tower though. And they go, they use the Doom again. Ramses, he's got a decent amount of damage. They'll find a kill on the Ursa, mid 1. He's using the Viper Strike on Solo. Slowly but surely, Ram's coming back around again. They're trying to go for the Oracle. Puppy in for trouble. There's a Ravage coming out from Pasha. They should be able to find it. Yeah, they'll take the kill over on Oracle. Mid 1 in for so much trouble. Flap those little wings, mid 1, run! Because Ramses is coming for you right now. We'll go pop the mech. We'll be able to get the root up. It's not going to be enough.
They just took that fight off of one big ultimate, and that's the Ravage. They did not use the Black Hole. Enigma did die, but that was so good for VP.
That's what I want to see from VP. I want to see them take objectives where they don't, or rather these fights, right? Where they don't have to use everything. There's going to be that threat always, because it's huge, right? The threat of the Ravage, of the Black Hole.
Of it the really... that was used as well on the Ursa at the start of the fight.
Right.
You're completely right there. Well, they have so many spells that they can use. They can choose in which teamfight they're going to use what, so.
But you're constantly thinking about your positioning. It's a very scary thing. In some ways, you know, I forget, you know, I was talking with another analyst at one point. The threat of the Black Hole, of the Ravage, is sometimes worse than the actual thing, because
just holding on to it, just
have to constantly be thinking of it.
Just holding on to that Black Hole makes the enemy team play in a much different way. It has always been like that. Playing Enigma versus Rubik or Vengeful prevents them from swapping anything else, prevents them from stealing anything else until they see that Black Hole. And with so many massive spells on the side of VP, like, it's on Puppy and his Oracle to first and foremost save his cores, but I do not know who's gonna stop that Black Hole later on.
That is the question. Well, eventually, you know, I'm sure we'll see an Abyssal Blade get picked up on Ursa, but
eventually that will happen. But
I'm sure he's going to be a big target to be stuck in that Black Hole, so it's a bit of an issue with that.
MC is moving towards that Mjolnir. Could bite right now. And as long as they have no catch for him, he can do exactly this, what he's doing. He's basically, when you're a core and you're able to farm on their side of the map, what that means is that your other cores can farm a little bit freer on their side of the map, on your side of the map, as they have more space. You aren't really all clogging up the Radiant jungle. And that's good with heroes such as Weaver, with these cores that have high mobility. As long as you're not afraid of being killed, obviously. And he should be a little bit more careful now as there's Zai with the Basher picked up.
He's going to be hoping for some lucky bashes, that's for sure.
Yeah, that first hit bash into perma bash is always scary. BKB almost completed on Enigma, needs like 100 gold more.
That's going to be scary. Saw what Roger can do if he's given a good setup. He's very patient, good positioning.
Blink as well to really do insane black hole without any setup.
Well, I mean, he didn't even.
He didn't
have it last time, and that was
I don't think they're
pretty
gonna
good.
allow it again. That's all I mean.
Oh,
the Atos.
Oh, they've got the Atos, they've got the Nether Toxin, they've got the Burst. Can they take down Ramses? No, he's going to be able to go. Time lapse back, but they've got the Ravage out. They baited it using the Doom. There's the Black Hole coming out from Roger. They'll take down Puppy. Mid one is stuck in the middle of a lot of unfriendly people. There's going to be the buyback, though. They managed to root over here onto Nisha. Roger trying to run away from Zai. He doesn't want this. The first hit bash, though, coming through. Egg will get used as well. Roger's still trying to run himself away from this pit here. The rest of the team still following. They're hoping to grab him. They've got the TP. They need a bash. They don't have it. He's out.
All right, so they lose Weaver, but they do force buybacks, and they get Viper. I think they're fine with this fight. They did use a lot of their big ultimates, but if you are VP, you're satisfied still, as that Aegis just did get reclaimed.
Now you said there's no way they let him get a black hole like that again.
Yeah, and it happens.
You know? Although Roger now in for trouble as Nisha has found himself. This Enigma will just take him out.
Yeah, Pasha has to be careful. He doesn't have a port either, and they're circling around him like sharks. If anyone spots him, he might die here.
Well, I think the Oracle saw him, but...
It's nighttime. I don't think so.
That's
That
true.
ward is Radiant. Yeah, he didn't really get in range. But he is a tanky watermelon, so it's hard to kill him. We have here. Have Pasha on the offensive, actually.
Got Solo nearby.
Solo?
Hoping to maybe... Yeah, they'll cancel out the TP. Nisha gonna get rooted into place, and no one. And Pasha. And Mount, and even Ramses joining in on the fun on that.
It's strange seeing Nisha die like that. He's usually the one that farms. Like, not really carefully, but he farms to his limits. He doesn't really get caught in enemy jungle like that very often.
I mean, the pressure's on right now, too.
Radiant's BKB completed on no one.
Yeah, he's been just farming non-stop. Every time that Eye of the Storm has been up, you've just been seeing him bounce around from camps.
I just love the way he adapted to this game with his item build. That Radiance, it was ridiculed by many players before, but in this game versus the PL, you do what you must, and that's what these big players do. They just itemize properly. It doesn't matter that the item might look silly on the hero. If you needed that game, you go for it. Yapsur, however, is gonna get that hex very soon.
He's getting so close to it, although they're putting the pressure on the mid tower. Will force out the fort.
What do they have? They have the Doom, they have the Ravage, they don't have Enigma ulti. But still, you have two big ultimates to work with.
Okay, the Atos is gonna get used on no one.
I believe there's a Force on Tide, there's a BKB on him, so it's very hard for them to just rush into them. They need to find the pick-off first. Zai is gonna rush into them though.
He's looking, he's hoping to find someone over here. Haven't quite found it. Over, Viper. Gonna get Atos out the BKB pop from no one. They're gonna try to burst him down. Zai jumping forward though, the follow-up with the Ravage! And they're gonna hold him. There's the Black Hole again! Zapsor is just out of here. Zai is out. Mid one now trying to stay alive, but the force stab comes out. Can they burst him down fast enough? It's not looking good here. Nisha now stuck with a lot of unfriendly faces.
Ursa bot back. I think you just get out now. If you are VP, you might even turn, but you need to go back a little bit at least. You force the buyback from the Ursa, there's absolutely no necessity to push that high ground. Wait your ultimates up again. Yapzor, man, he plays so many heroes so well, and with Phoenix he's finding farm, but he's not finding the X. He's not finding the teamfight presence that he definitely needs to have with this Phoenix. He's being caught, like with Dooms, with Black Holes, with Ravages. As a Phoenix, like, you cannot allow that to happen. You have a repositioning tool in your hero, you have that dive, you need to use it in a little bit more of a careful way.
it feels like they're getting the initiation. Like that's a big problem right now. Virtus.pro, they, you know, one person gets maybe, you know, looked at, and it's usually the Razor. They try to jump on him, but the follow-up, the reinitiation is just absurd. And I think that's one of the problems. I feel like maybe, you know, Secret felt like they were doing a lot better when Zai, you know, was the first one in. He was getting quick picks, and then you can follow up with the rest of the team. But it's just not happening that way for them right now.
He did try that this time around. He was rushing in. He was going to high ground to get some info to maybe find a target, but VP was just a little bit faster than him this time around.
Well, they tried to jump. Was it? I'm trying to think. Was the Razor jumped on first?
No.
Razor
jumped
on the. Yeah, right.
Razor Atos, the Viper, went on him, popped the BKB, and then unfortunately for Yabzor, he got clipped by that Ravage, and they have no team fight. Their team fight is completely around that tag. And honestly, I'm not saying it's an easy Phoenix game because they have no stuns on the side of Secret when you think about it. Besides that Basher and the Atos, alright, Atos and Purge are roots. The only stun that you have is the Supernova Egg and the Bash. So that egg isn't really easy to pull off. But still, with this Hex perhaps, maybe he can dive in, Hex that Weaver, initiate the fight that way. If you take the Weaver out instantly, maybe you have a shot, but look at VP. They're
so aggressive. They don't have any of these big ultimates. They have Doom. All right, never mind. They have Doom, they have Ravage backup. So they're using, I love this. I love that, you know, they're being very efficient. Every time they've got one of these big ultimates up, they're looking for a fight, they're looking for a pick. Phantom Dancer has just finished a Satanic though, so they need to make sure that, you know, he's locked up and not allowed to hit anything.
If you remember that Naga OD game, the power of that Naga was the fact that Naga created so much space for that OD to hit. However, in this game, they don't have that OD, they have a Viper. The majority of your damage is gonna come from the Ursa and the PL. And Doom has a completed Crimson Guard. That PL isn't really gonna hit. With the Crimson Guard and Radiance, the only thing left for VP to purchase versus the PL is the Shivas. Once they have that item, his damage is gonna be like not there. And with the Sages, they know it. They know that Secret cannot fight them right now.
This is very scary for them. They smoked up too. It felt like Secret wanted to make something happen. At the same time though, of course, VP, they smoked up, actually twice, right? They smoked up out of their base, wanted to see if they could get a pick, and then they just smoked right into the Roche pit because no one was showing.
No one was showing. They kind of realized, all right, these guys are just scared of us. They're basically just hiding away on their side of the map, which is true. Secret is doing exactly that. You have these two cores on the bottom lane, but the three of them, they're just hanging about that high ground mid.
So what's the best course of action? Because I feel like they cannot take a team fight.
No, remember, the panel said VP has 5 cores, and those 5 cores worked out. They got 32 minutes into the game, and when you have 5 cores 32 minutes into the game, it's very difficult to play against them. With this BKB on Ursa, perhaps with a good initiation from the Hex, maybe they can take down one target, but versus the Aegis, I just don't see it. I think they have to prolong the game a bit more.
Okay, we'll get the Atos off immediately on Ramsey. Nisha is trying to clear up this creep wave. Starting to run after this Razor, chipping him down. BKB is going to get popped from no one. Yabzor,
he does have cheese back. That's a lot of damage dealt to no one, though. They have to be careful.
That is a lot.
Yeah.
Yabzor needs to get a good egg off here. But
they're going to back out.
No middle.
They used Crimson. They use their utility items. I think they just back out. They wait a little bit. You don't want to use that cheese like that either. And they were a little bit scared, honestly, because that was a lot of damage done to Razor in a very short period of time. So maybe even wait for another item on no one. Meanwhile, Roger just building towards that refresher, it seems. Why not? There's absolutely no ways of stopping that black hole, so...
And these black holes have been so on point. They've been absolutely on point this entire time, so, you know, you can have fun with one, why not have fun with 2?
Yes, that's what I say.
Oh dear.
No, I play Enigma a lot, and like buying that refresher later on in the game is just amazing. Like the first time you do it is actually so good, as you pop that refresher, they don't maybe notice it, not all of them at least, You pop the refresher, you jump in, you have the 2 black holes, you win a team fight off of that. Especially even if they pick you off after the first black hole, you can maybe buy back and do it.
Hapster gonna have to swoop away. BKB did get picked up on the Ursa now. Feels so, like you can feel the tension, right? Like you can feel like Secret, you know, they're trying to figure out what's the best way to approach this. VP is just being, you know, very patient. They know that they're really in control right now. This 5-core lineup has worked out for them.
All right, Nisha is working slowly towards that butterfly. But he's gonna have a rough time hitting anyone. They're gonna maybe have a little bit of a rougher time hitting him through that evasion, but versus the Radiance, versus the Crimson.
Is this one of these situations where you don't want to let them get to your base?
No, I think you're fine with defending high ground on the side of Secret. It's not really necessary for you to fight anywhere else. It's a little bit easier to position that egg on the high ground, and it's also much harder for Roger to get a good black hole off. Plus the Doom, if it's not really on a target that's controlled, the target can just run into the fountain, heal up, re-engage. So if you are Secret, you're happy fighting on the high ground, I believe.
I'm sure the battle is going to be coming to them very soon. They did just pick up a Heaven's Halberd. Like, does Ursa have some issues too?
With the level 17 on Yapzor, with the mid 1 Nether Toxin and the Aghanims, they do have the damage, but you can see no one is suffering a lot. Like, he can't really be the one hitting these towers.
Gonna wait for that perfect position. Tower will go down. We'll use the Atos. Media on the Doom. BKB getting popped from Zai. They're all grouped up over here. There's straight coming out from Solo. They'll take down the Phoenix though. There's a black hole again coming out from Roger. They grab hit 1. They grab the Phantom Lancer. Nisha, he's out of here. They're gonna just chase him down. Right there now, the Ursa is getting rooted up. They're gonna just chip him down as well.
All the buybacks coming out.
They gotta have the buybacks. They gotta come back here. After trying to slow him down with those flame spirits. Nisha chasing after Pasha. Has to be careful again. They just bought back. Puppy just gonna get chased down by no one. That Hex not gonna be enough.
That's a dieback right there.
That's 3 people on the side. How do they defend this Lizard?
They don't have the egg. The PL is the only one alive that can do something.
Oh no! Oh no! Yapzor Flow. He's not gonna make it out.
Flies away to his death, and I believe Secret is gonna be flying home too. As
there it is. Virtus.pro. They take the series.
This game, we be bringing the true device CIS Dotes in the last game of the series.
Word.
Who cares? We're gonna do what we do best in the CIS. We're gonna pick 5 cores and go straight at you. We don't really care. We're gonna have a position 5 Doom. Okay, look at Ramses and how happy he is, and I'd be happy too. He's in the...
I mean, it looked a little rough early on for sure.